we're going to break down step by step a challenge funnel that was run about 3 times and made $8.8 million.
You can actually write a really short book on Amazon and self-publish it really fast. Just take the entire transformation process, boil it down to a 7-day checklist or step, or try to make it as short as possible. The main strategy behind a lot of it was we always pitch on Fridays because people are paid on Fridays and they're down to spend more money then. This email is what sparked Layla Hormozi to reply to one of mine saying, wow, after a close, this guy's doing an FAQ email the next day, and then just like making sure everybody buys. It's great. Facebook was shutting down our support reps accounts for answering too many questions and like stuff like that. And it was scary because there was a lot of money on the line.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Funnel Vision Show. I'm your host, Mikkel Dia, and I'm the founder of Funnelytics right here, where we help performance marketers better understand how to make money and how to convert strangers into customers. And today in this episode, I'm super pumped because we're going to talk about exactly that. We're going to talk about how we can use challenges in our business, challenge funnels, to make a hell of a lot of money. In fact, we're going to break down step by step a challenge funnel that was run about 3 times and made $8.8 million. So this is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to get really deep into the weeds. And I've got Christian Davis here, who is the architect and the mind behind this funnel. And we're going to talk about it in depth. But Christian, please introduce yourself to the audience. Let us hear your not so humble bragging rights. Why should people listen to you and listen to this episode?
Hey, what's good, everybody? My name is Christian Davis, and I am what's called a full stack email marketer at heart, which means I don't know just how to write award-winning copy that can crush 8.8 million and cross entire funnels, but also like how to actually send emails and implement deliverability tactics and all the tech and strategy in between. Some of my recent accolades are Layla Hormozi replying to one of my emails saying that she can't stop reading them, like who is the copywriter I need to know, and then she reads them 100% of the way through. Hormozi's replied to my emails as well. I also won the affiliate competition for $100 million leads by 30%, so absolutely crushed the second place person.
Wow.
And it was all my strategy, my brainchild, and stuff that I've picked and chosen from the greats to compile it into a strategy that worked for us. I've run 7-figure promos like very frequently, like every month or two across different brands. One of my clients now is a 9-figure self-development guru who bought his mom an island on Fiji. You can use your imagination who that is.
We won't say the name, but we can deduce who it might be. That's amazing.
And then also I've worked with Russell Brunson as well and some other big guys. So yeah.
So you're the secret weapon behind the scenes of some of the best marketers out there, or at least you're the marketer behind their face in a sense, which is pretty impressive. And I'm very honored and excited to have you on the show. Talk to me about $8.8 million. Talk to me about what the business is. Like, let's talk about it from a high level. Give me a little bit of backstory around this. How did it come about? Let's dive into a bit of the story here.
Okay, yeah. And also I'd like to give credit where it's due. Like, yes, the copy and the strategy and all the writing and stuff was me. Tyler Birdie did the designing of the pages. And then Myrna Bard was the actual marketing operator behind it, who was pulling the strings. So she's an absolute savage.
Nice.
Now, as far as the business and where they were, it's kind of interesting. When I took over their email marketing originally, before I started running funnels for them, they thought email was dead. And they were just barely starting to take it seriously. And so then I was able to deploy my 17-step email profit formula and then increase their email revenue by 253% through that. And then so then they gave me a shot. And it was actually Myrna's idea to run a challenge funnel. And it was a perfect time of year. It was January. We were just going to run it warm, which we did. So we wrote a short form landing page and then like a beefed up email promo with like a very specific strategy behind everything. And we're just super dialed in and it just knocked it out of the park. I mean, 1.2 million was generated in 12 hours. Of course, that was around the live event, day 5, the day of the pitch. But we learned a ton. Everything was very last minute with that project. I was going in there and tweaking the copy last minute, working around the clock, and we made it happen. We milked that thing for every last penny and then began to run it again and again. So the second time we did some cold traffic, and the third time we did mostly cold traffic. Yeah, totaling $8.8 million. I can give more details about the offers and stuff too.
Yeah. We'll talk about that because we'll pull up the actual landing page and we'll break that down. And let's talk about like making kind of that revenue. So challenge funnel. Let's talk about it from a high level standpoint. Walk people through what exactly was the challenge funnel. How did it work? For those who aren't familiar with challenge funnels, what's the concept behind it? Like, walk us through what it means.
Yeah, exactly. So in our case, we did a 7-day challenge. And the way this business is run is these people are skeptical if this is a real thing. Not going to lie, it was a really good offer. The offer was so good that people are a little skeptical. So often using social proof related, like lower number social proof performed way better. Basically, it was to get them to publish a book because since it's like a big mountain in a lot of people's heads to like publish even one book, much less turn it into a side hustle type of business.
Yeah.
We actually did really well with the challenge funnel. A lot of other brands do as well. We went for 7 days because obviously publishing a book is much more beefy than starting an offer or something more simple like what Myron Golden's doing. The main strategy behind a lot of it was we always pitch on Fridays because people are paid on Fridays and they're down to spend more money then. And so that was day 5 of the challenge. And that's when we ran our big presentation. Then we would do a Q&A the next day after, because a big thing that we constantly did with this brand is I would push as many sales as possible, milk every last thing I could out of them, like through the entire perfect webinar formula, which is for people that don't know, it's Russell Brunson's sales cycle.
Yep.
So I applied that to every part of this business. So I got to attribute credit where it's due, but it works like crazy. When we close a sale or we'd finish a dramatic demonstration, like the day 5 pitch, we would deploy like an FAQ, either dramatic demonstration or marketing assets like an email or a landing page, and just be like, here's a list of frequently asked questions. And this is why, just to clear the objection with why I didn't buy. You know what I mean? So like this email is what sparked Layla Hormozi to reply to one of mine saying, wow, after a close, this guy's doing an FAQ email the next day. And then just like making sure everybody buys. It's great.
So the challenge itself, so basically tactically, you send emails, you go to a landing page, the landing page gets them to register. Was this a paid challenge or a free challenge?
Yeah, so this was a free challenge. And the first time we ran it, it was a $97 VIP upsell.
Okay.
And there's a lot more details that went into that. But then we did test doing a 47 that absolutely crushed and did way better.
Okay. So, and it was a 7-day challenge, you said, not 5.
Exactly, 7. So Monday through Sunday.
Monday through Sunday. And walk me through, like, in just high level, what do you do in each of the days of the challenge, right? So the goal of the challenge is for them to publish a book. What is the promise of the 7 days? Why am I signing up? What am I going to get by the end of the 7 days? I'm certainly not going to publish a book in 7 days, but what is the goal of the 7 days?
Actually, the goal was to publish a book, and a good amount of people did finish, but the people that didn't finish, or actually the people that finished too, a lot of people bought anyway, even the confused ones who didn't finish. So you can actually write a really short book on Amazon and self-publish it really fast. And so that's what we did. Like, for people out there trying to figure out how to do this for your business, just take the entire transformation process, like have Claude or something, like boil it down to a 7-day checklist or step, or try to make it as short as possible if you can, but sometimes longer is better. And then each day is dedicated to a different thing. And then it's all just optimized to get them to actually finish.
Yeah.
And so we had a Facebook group too, and a lot of other tactics to get people to actually keep going after it and not give up.
Interesting. Okay, so basically you just took, each day was one checklist for throughout the 7 days. And when I register for the challenge, was it a community-driven challenge? Was it a kind of just one-way Zoom challenge? What was the format of the delivery for the challenge?
Yeah, so we use Webinar Jam for the front end of the funnel, but Zoom is way more reliable. So we relied on Zoom for the challenge. And it was just pretty simple. It was like a bunch of content and stuff to make them to actually show up to every Zoom call. And then there was Q&As. And then if you got VIP, you're able to ask more questions. You got like a special VIP Facebook group where you could get access to more people. And it's like we pushed the limits on all of our software for this. Like Facebook was shutting down our support reps accounts for answering too many questions and stuff like that. So it was scary because there was a lot of money on the line, or like we would get 32,000 registrants for the challenge, for example, the second time we ran it. And then now we have the problem of, HubSpot SMS doesn't send them fast enough to get them actually in the door. So now we have to switch to Roseanne and stuff like that.
Jeez. Okay. So a bit of a last minute scramble every time you were running it.
Yeah, everybody was just all hands on deck because it was just so much money was on the line.
And what was the actual offer at the end of the challenge?
What it was our main bread and butter offer, which was a 2K group coaching program. And it was just 2K and you get in for life. And then the way it was able to make a lot of extra money, like a little bit more than double, was a 5K accelerator after that, which is a 3-month group coaching program. And so for the actual challenge, like as far as the offer on day 5 and the pitch, it was just to get them to buy the 2K offer. And we would never offer discounts either. So we always had to be creative with our offer stacks. We actually ended up giving out manuscripts for our software called publishing.ai, which crushed like crazy. We would give those out to people that joined the day of the webinar. Then we'd have other bonuses for the rest of the 2-week email promo after that.
Okay, so I'm going to visualize this. I want to pull it up. But before we do, I want to make sure that we can pull up the actual landing page that you were gracious enough to share. I want to walk through the ins and outs of the landing page. I want to get an understanding of your thoughts as you kind of architected this. So I want you to walk us through, as you're kind of breaking this down, your thought process, right? What were you thinking when you were kind of building headline, the structure of the page, overall length of the page? What were you trying to do in kind of these core sections? So I'll let you kind of guide here.
This was the 3rd time we ran it. And I think the picture, honestly, on the last one was better. It was them at Forbes, but we went way more specific with the title in this case. And so the title was literally everything. And so we went discover how 5,949 everyday people publish royalty generating books in just 7 days without needing to spend a penny. Like technically, that's all true. They don't have to spend a penny to get started. And so the point of this above the fold section is just to be very clear and state what they're getting. Because remember, they're ending up on this page from emails. And the emails, I'm explaining a lot of detail and depth already. So we're just going for an opt-in rate. The opt-in rate for this on the screenshots of the funnel stats I have said 56, but it was actually 70%. And I have screenshots of the conversations with the team to prove it.
Wow.
But yeah, that's to be expected though. Obviously, it's a free challenge and it's from warm traffic. And so we went with the colorway. The button had to obviously be a different color. We would just do first name, mobile phone, and email. Keep it super short. And we wouldn't make them use a US or Canadian phone number. If it was that number, we would either keep it or not, because we just didn't want to add a micro extra step in there of, add in your country, because all that stuff adds up.
Yep.
And then we have our little SMS compliancy blurb there. But yeah, this is just for clarity.
Yeah. So there's a couple of things that I think is interesting here, right? Obviously, you got a timer here, but you've got kind of everyday people. So we're talking and clearly saying like, look, this is not for info marketers. This is not for influencers. This is literally, you're just an everyday person, royalty generating book. So like, this is ultimately speaking to somebody who wants to kind of make a passive income and is thinking about just making some money. It's not complicated. And I can do it in 7 days and I don't have to spend a penny. I mean, it's a compelling offer in general. Who are the guys here?
These are the 2 Mickelson twins. They are 2 genius, like savants who just slay it in the shadows, and they don't even know how famous they are.
Well, I mean, they got attention and it kind of pushes people to go and convert and opt in. Obviously, they're pointing towards here. So just high conversion. So let's go to the next section. So right away, you kind of move from headline. Here's the opt-in. Okay, now you're talking about what you will discover. So you kind of listed about 1, 2, 3, about 12 bullets or something. How did you structure these bullets? What did you want to kind of talk about? What was the purpose of this?
Yeah, so basically they're structured in a way that's based off of their biggest objections or reason why they wouldn't want to buy, or the reason they do want to buy, and putting those first and then having the rest after. And also it's walking through the journey. So follow along to make your first profits from scratch by creating and publishing your book together with zero experience and spending zero money to do it. So that's their biggest objection first, is like, I have to be a writer to publish a book. And like, no, you don't. Like, we'll teach you how to write. Anybody can write. It's easy. And earn while you learn. So like rapidly master core money making processes. So you can do it anytime you want. So like, there we go. You're not just learning how to do it once, but this is a income opportunity for you.
Yep.
Then there's the time objection next, which is, hey, you can make a book idea in 7 minutes flat and then get access to over 3,000 topics that will give you so you never run out. Then just making it sound ridiculously simple and easy was the point of this whole section.
Yeah. So copy paste formulas, a tool to kind of give you writer's block, remove that, 5 hacks to quickly get in that zone. So basically, you're just, like you said, it's all objection handling across the board, how to get it published, basically the whole process broken down from start to bottom. Another call to action over here with a kind of countdown timer because the date is a very specific date for this. And then you're just inundating with social proof.
Yeah, so the strategy behind this page was above the fold had to be just to get them to opt in. And then after that, we just need to bring clarity to what they're actually getting while also just like preaching how stupidly simple and big and easy this challenge is. And then now we're officially starting at the top of the sales cycle here, which is, emotion and social proof and selling the dream a little bit more. Now, what we did was we compiled the demographics of people that tend to buy the most, which in this case, because they were so top of funnel, was people in retirement or getting close to retirement.
Yeah. 31 great egg recipes. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, come on. You can publish a book. Like, we made it so simple.
Actually, it kind of makes you realize that, it doesn't have to be a business book. It's like, this sounds kind of ridiculous, but at the same time, it reinforces the fact that it can be about whatever you want.
Exactly. Just don't do a memoir because those don't make money.
Yeah, fair enough. So then this is your kind of breakdown of the actual 7-day challenge itself and what will happen each day.
Exactly. So now this is going more into logic because they're probably asking themselves, oh, that's great. I believe in this now, but what's actually included? So can I actually do this? That's what they're thinking. And so, yeah, we just got into each day, what it entails, title and cover, outline, writing day 1, writing day 2, bonus training. Like, we bonus stacked the hell out of this. Publish plus encore bonus training. That was the FAQ call, the encore bonus training, which was just to sell more.
Yeah.
And day 5 above was also a pitch. So the bonus training was the webinar.
Oh, okay.
We've experimented with multiple stuff too. We've wanted to give out, we gave out 10K cash on one. Got a good show up rate, but like a trash close rate compared to the time before.
Yeah. People just want the money, right?
Yeah.
And then your last day, you're actually telling them like you'll make sales within your first sale.
Yeah. And, we did this in a way that, made sense. Is like, we worded it in a way that said, you're not guaranteed your first sale on your 7th day, but a lot of people do get it that day. And also at one point they weren't like buying people's book and telling them up front, like, yes, we'll buy your book. Could be your first sale.
Okay. That's awesome. And then another call to action. And then we move on to here. We kind of have the bonuses, it looks like, right? So this is join the 7-day challenge by this date and get immediate access to bonuses. So you're just stacking more bonuses across the board here, even though this is a free offer.
Yeah. The idea behind this was every time we run anything to this list, and actually a majority of the lists I manage, everybody takes action on the last day or the second to last day. And so whatever you can do to get them to take action quicker, the better. And so if you don't join literally the last day, then you get these bonuses.
Okay. So basically, I see. If you join, you get these bonuses. So just kind of stacking a couple things. Was there a purpose behind these bonuses? Was it like, were you selective with these bonuses? Did you try to handle any sort of objection, or what was the thought process behind these bonuses?
Yeah. So this team, the way I had to work with them was just like work with what I had, but also be as strategic as possible. And so I had a list of like bonuses that I'm allowed to use or like stuff that I could come up with.
Yep.
This time I didn't have a chance to get them to make something, but I chose book pricing secrets with Myrna and then the secret case study interview because it's about like how much money they can make and then also helping them believe that they can actually do it still. And then the freedom shortcut, that's a book they wrote. We just threw that in there. That's awesome. Actually, I'm one of the testimonials in the book.
Oh yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Because I actually published a book.
That's cool. Okay, so you kind of change up a little bit of this is the first time you're kind of using any green here. So pattern interrupt in my, like, at least for me, as I'm scrolling through a lot of purple and stuff, and then you kind of have green for the first time, which is all the way to your first sale, which is pretty, stands out in general. Anything you want to touch here?
So, I mean, this is just like a snapshot here of the transformation so that you feel like, okay, in just 7 days, I can go from here to here. And so you can show this information in different ways. We chose to just keep it very like small and short and make it stand out with the color. versus like making a graphic.
Yep. It definitely caught my eyes. I'm scrolling through. So from there, true magic only begins. Unstoppable momentum, create more freedom in your life. So basically what you're saying is, cool, like you got your book, but like that's just the start of this. And then you're going into a couple reasons why they must act now.
Yeah, and just to preface that title, like if this was a cold traffic page, that would be a little bit more confusing because it'd be like, what do you mean freedom? We haven't talked about that at all. But they've been getting tons of emails from me saying like, build your life of freedom through publishing books, which is true. You can publish books and then they make sales, and then you technically don't have to keep working and they'll still make sales. It does fluctuate, but that's why it's a good offer.
Yeah, for sure.
So this is the logic side of everything. So, reason one, reason two, like why you should do this. We're just making them justify the emotion. And there's nothing like us, little time required, 100% free. Anyone can do it. And then so boom. And then whatever we can, we will just like add more testimonials just to show how many we have, because we have hundreds and hundreds or thousands. And so we have just, it's sprinkled in there, different demographics of people. Yeah. Of like all different walks of life, like especially the ones that we sell the most to. So you'd be surprised how someone will stop on a testimonial for someone that looks, talks, or whatever like them. And then they're like, yes, okay, if they did it, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, for sure. And then big call to action here. And then FAQ.
Yep, FAQ, logic. And so it's not like we only hit logic for like the last half of the page. We would still sprinkle in some social proof just to remind them that they can do it and this is real and stuff. The percentage of the page got heavier with social proof. Logic near the end.
Yeah, you kind of went from emotion to logic near the end. So what was the difference? We can just kind of skim through the this version, which is the cold version. So what's the approach on the cold side versus the kind of warm side? So I'll just kind of walk through from my perspective what I'm noticing already off the top. So you have a call to action at the very top, very clear kind of 7-day publishing challenge and the date. So that stands out. Publish and sell your first book on Amazon in just 7 days, guaranteed. So we aren't calling out the average day person, but we are talking about publishing a first book on Amazon, 7 days. And we talk about guaranteed here. Same image. I think this call to action is slightly longer or different, but maybe not. Click here to join the 7-day publishing challenge. So walk me through the difference here, because this is above the fold. This is where we want to grab people's attention. And I see here you have the 5,000 people down here.
Yeah.
What's the thought process?
Basically, we had to be with landing pages from Meta. Obviously, there's more compliancy stuff related to them and what they allow. And so we decided to go shorter with the first title because they're not like getting an entire email explaining what that was and then what they're going to opt in for now. Like they're going to see even less copy or a short video, and then they need to know exactly what they're looking at right now in as little words as possible. So we chose to do that for the headline, and then the button here just being a little bit bigger with the click here too. Like it just want to split test that way. Otherwise, we are a fan of being more concise. And then
it does stand out a lot more. For sure.
It does. Yeah. In emails, I prefer keeping the call to action bigger. The overarching strategy is we just start at the top of like what this is first, and then we go into who we are after that and why they should join. Here's what you get. You don't have to leave your house. It's a side hustle. Like we're explaining the income opportunity. Everybody from the email list already got it, so we didn't have to do that. All by just creating a simple book. Enter the 7-day publishing challenge. Okay, so that's what publishing is about. What about the challenge? There you go. All these people have done it. Now it's your turn. And then, the whole do it with this or without this. People like those contrasting images. So this worked well. You can also use red for the without one. We did that before in the past.
Okay. So basically you're likely to get this, but all without having to do all of this. Okay.
Yes. And so we did that again over here, the 7-day publishing challenge versus traditional publishing methods. And so this would help clear in their minds that like this publishing is not as an official of a term as they think. Like this is self-publishing and through this challenge. And so this is way easier. And then, just to say you want to join because you can repeat this process anytime you want. So this is pre-framing them to want to buy VIP after, which is a separate page.
Do you talk at all about the guys here who are in the picture? Do you talk at all about who is publishing.com or what is publishing.com? Or do you kind of just eliminate that as a whole?
A little bit later on one of the pages we did for one of the challenges. I'm trying to remember if it was this exact one that I I'm sharing with you.
So this is what you're going to be able to finally have. So imagine feeling very books again, more.
If I remember
social.
correctly, we did in the second one, but then we lost a lot of people at that point. So then we just removed it and we figured, hey, it doesn't matter like who the gurus are. Let's just
Yeah.
like run it. And really the purpose of the images with them is just to show relatability. And I'm pretty sure we removed the Forbes picture, which was the one before, because it seemed a little bit too out of reach compared to what people could do. It made us look special. Like, oh, wow, look at these guys. They're in Forbes.
Right. Yeah,
versus
that's a fair
social proof.
point. Right. It goes away from the idea of everyday person because like
Yep.
not everybody wants to be in Forbes.
Look, mom, I made it to Forbes.
Yeah, exactly. And then the rest seems to be very similar at the bottom.
Exactly. Yeah. It's more similar, but extra info, just really drilling home the fact that this is an income making opportunity that can give you freedom in your life if you do it appropriately.
Amazing. Okay. So basically, everybody joined this challenge. And if we were to just very quickly map this out, basically, what you did is you had a kind of, we'll add two of these. So you kind of had a short form here. So short form, and you had a kind of long form over here. And you had Facebook ads going to this one.
Such a beautiful layout. Looks good. We actually do use Funnelytics at this company.
Oh, nice. I think I saw that there's a couple publishing.com people who have the account. And then what happens when I opt in? So I put in my name and email. Where did that take me?
Okay, so you go to a confirmation email sequence and SMS sequence after that.
So was there a thank you page?
It's different if they get VIP, but yes. So on the side, they get the emails. And then after the short form and long form page, when they opt in, they get pushed to a VIP upsell page.
So after they fill out this form, you
Yes.
said that there's a VIP page, right? So there's a
VIP
page.
upsell. And we had two iterations. We had a 97 and a 47.
So this is VIP OTO. And then they can either say yes or no. So they can either purchase. Was there any other upsell?
No, it was just either the 97 or the 47.
Oh, there's two purchase options.
Yeah, but we didn't show everybody the options. It was just a randomized split test that they would just show up to the 47 or the 97.
Okay. So then there's a thank you over here. And
yeah, then the thank you confirmation page would just basically say, join the Facebook group, check your email, check your SMS, verify your phone number.
So everybody is sent to a Facebook group. Everybody
Yes.
could join the Facebook group. So basically this is Facebook group over here. Then you said there's email sequence that gets triggered from a form completed over here. What does this email sequence do?
The purpose of this was to just make sure that people show up to every day of the challenge. And it started as soon as they opted in. They would get emails every day leading up to the challenge. Then during the challenge, they would get multiple a day.
Okay. So email sequence, and then you'd have basically day one. And was there any call to actions during the days themselves other than like for the first few days?
No, I mean, after they opted in, they would get a chance to get their bonuses in one of the emails, but it was pretty much on the thank you page.
Okay. So 5, 6. And then the pitch happened on day 5 through day 7.
Yeah. And there was lots of call to actions. I mean, we would do ad event too to help with the show up rate and stuff.
And you sent people to a sales call or an order form, like a sales page, an order form, or a calendar. What was the call to action sending people to?
So the call to action, like to actually buy on the webinar or in the emails?
On the webinar.
It was just a direct buy sales page.
Okay. So an order form, basically.
Order form. Yep.
Okay. So that was the same for all 3 days, right? So day 5, 6, and 7.
Yeah, because after the presentation on day 5, pretty much at midnight, because we start kind of later and go 3 hours. Now they're getting emails as well saying, hey, buy the order page. And then after this, we did a 2-week email promo.
So after this, you did a 2-week email promo that sent people where?
It sent them to the buy page to get the 2K offer. And then once they got the 2K offer, they would get a success call with a salesperson. They would close them for the accelerator for 5K.
Okay. So basically you got an email sequence sending people. Was there a sales page or straight to the order form page?
It was a sales page at this point. It was beefed up. It wasn't super direct. It had like all the offer stack and the bonuses and some
Right.
pretty copy, but it was relatively short.
Okay. So basically this would go here and they would basically buy the same offer over here. And then from here, you would have a phone and then you'd have another purchase over here.
And yeah, I have all the stats. I mean, the ascension rate was 18% for that, which was good.
Nice. Basically, this is the funnel right here. This is what you guys did. And this made $8.8 million.
Yeah, we just rinsed and repeated. Some of the stuff that changed was we had different ad sources besides just Meta. We tried TikTok and YouTube and stuff, but
yeah,
essentially this is it.
Amazing. I mean, this was really cool to break down. I mean, it gives us an idea of how you think and your approach. And I truly appreciate you breaking this down for us. This has been pretty sweet. Anything else you want to touch on?
I got you, my man. If anybody wants to hear more from me, you can just hit me up on social media at Christian the Copywriter or freeemailcourse.io. And of course, Grab Funnelytics, hands down, is the best mind mapping like funnel software out there in the game. That's why all my big clients are using it.
Awesome. I appreciate you, man. And I'm looking forward to sharing this with everybody because it's really powerful. Thanks, man.
Got you, bro.